heart of Oconee, where the rivers do flow, there's a show that you gotta know. Kathy and Chris, they're quite the delight, and Randy and Jeff, they brighten the night. Tune in and laugh, it's a real jamboree with stories and fun, just wait and see. From town talk to gossip and all in between, on Let's Talk Oconees.com, they reign supreme. Let's Talk Oconee, come join the chat with hosts so charming, there's no time to be flat. From news to blues and everything fun, at LTO the party's never done. Kathy's wit shines bright like a star in the sky. Chris adds humor with a wink in his eye. Randy's the heartbeat with laughter so sweet. And Jazzy Jeff gives the show that jazzy beat. Oh, Oconee, we're singing of you, with friends by our side and love that's true. It's the place to be in the night or the day. With LTO, we're on our way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first show in the month of July. And first of all, we hope that everybody has had a wonderful 4th of July. It has been a very good one, I might say. And it has been a wonderful one.
I am so glad to be back on the show.
I know.
I had a dry spell. I was getting the shakes.
I know. I was worried about you. Randy, you've been kind of busy this past 4th of July, up and down the road, around the world, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like since about the end of May, I've just been traveling. It's been real good. Glad to be back. Can't believe we're getting ready to kick off our 3rd year.
I know, isn't it something?
3 years.
3 years that we have.
I'm going to catch up for too long to that one podcast that guy had.
Well, I tell you what, we've outlasted them all, and it don't look like there's any competition in sight.
And it doesn't look like there's any competition. It looks like for the next 4 years we're going to be here.
I wonder what happened to all that equipment.
I don't know. It probably got sold on eBay.
It was in the Goodwill being a Mountain West, I think.
What's going on with you, Chris?
Well, you know what? Right after the election, and those guys won, I saw several of them out, and they're kind of laughing. I kind of gave them the stink eye, and they looked at me and said, "Hey, let's be friends." And I'm like, I didn't quite trust them. Mm-hmm. Well, then they said, "Give us a hug," and I said, "I'm not giving you a hug." And they said, "Well, at least shake her hand." So they kind of smiled. I said, so I shook their hand. Okay. 2 days later.
What? You got the crabs. Chris Ruin has the crabs.
What? You know, when I was in the Navy and that happened to an old boy, they gave him some of that blue ointment.
You know what?
Chris Ruin.
I trusted him, and look what I got.
Chris Ruin got the crabs from the OCC.
And I can wave to him. No, they gave it to me.
Oh my God, Ruin! I can't believe that you went up and got the crabs. Did you get the crabs in Mountain Rest?
No.
Where did you get the crabs at?
Shaking hand in the Walmart parking lot.
Jeez,
that could have happened to
I know.
anybody.
But the next day I got itchy at night when it was real dark. And I was like scratching, and I cut myself, and I thought, what the hell? My fingernails aren't that long. And I turned the lights on, and I knew I had them.
Oh my goodness! Well, hey, it looks like your friend Emily's not feeling.
Yeah,
good.
Emily is not feeling good. She's been under the weather for the last few weeks, and Emily, I hope that you get better. I see that your father is watching as well, and Mr. Larry is watching. He checks in on social media. But we do hope that you had a very safe and happy 4th. And, of course, as we start our show here, we've got big booms happening all around Oconee. Much-needed rain, I might add. We've been pretty dry here for the last, 5 weeks. We've not seen a lot of rain. And I think, Friday we saw some rain here, Friday afternoon, and now we've got some good rain here. So,
it's been hot.
Yeah, it's been hot, too.
Luckily, though, we got a 50% chance of rain every day now.
Well, that's good because things are getting kind of dry. I know the farmers are having some problems, and some of the crops are dying because we're in a drought, believe it or not.
Well, I tell you what, as a beekeeper, it's been pretty poor with the bees being able to find enough nectar to make some honey. I've talked to quite a few folks that's having trouble. So.
Well, you know what? Until my stuff starts growing, I can't get any farm tags or ag res.
Well, listen up here on the show tonight. A little bit later on at about 7:20 or 7:30, I have a very special announcement that I need to make here about
not
the
pregnant,
program.
are you?
No, I'm not pregnant. But this is very important, and it's very serious, too.
How did Chris get pregnant?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we haven't done anything together,
No.
to say the least. But this is a very
I know
important
who
announcement.
My father is.
This is a very important announcement that I've been saving it now for the last few weeks, and I wanted us to be here. Our partner's not here; she's actually taking a vacation,
Yes,
and well
yes,
deserved. But see, I come off vacation.
But we have somebody taking her place.
I come off vacation, and I come to do the show. So, but anyway, who's taking her place, Chris? Hold on, let me get the camera over. We need to shine a spotlight this. Go ahead.
Comrade Eva. Comrade Eva, look at her. She was an Olympic swimmer, and now she's decided to sub force.
Yeah, but the thing about it is she's into real estate investment.
Yes.
What you were telling me?
Yeah, she is. She's part of the team tonight here on the program that we're going to talk about. You know,
Just don't try to take any money from her.
yeah, no, don't take any money
Got
from her.
beautiful lipstick.
You know, the election's over with.
Yep,
And
well, we're not gonna talk about that anymore.
Folks, they made their decision
That clean sweep.
on the clean sweep, and that's who they
yeah,
decided
yeah.
that they want. So basically, elections have consequences, and for the next 4 years, whatever happens, happens. And we now know that development is coming, and there ain't no way to slow it down or stop it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
happening
baby.
right before our
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah,
When the
yeah.
Post and Courier this week publishes a front page news story about the development in Oconee County, what does that tell you that's getting ready to happen?
I can tell you one thing.
Well,
Show me the Benjamins.
here's the thing. Where is this paper from?
It's
Post and
It's
Courier.
Charleston.
So
It's
all the way in Charleston.
Charleston, yeah. The Post and Courier.
So the people in Charleston wrote a letter, wrote a front page article in their paper
Yes, but they have
about Oconee County.
Yes.
getting student housing.
Yes.
and they called it a disaster.
Yes.
in the headline.
They did.
Okay, so people all the way on the other side of the state, the most liberal place it could be,
4.5 hours away from here, depending on how you get there through traffic.
they have said that this development will be a disaster for Oconee County.
Yeah.
But you know what? But here's the thing. They don't live here. They don't live here. All they do is they come up here, they see our waterfalls, they spend their money to go home. Who cares about them? Who cares? Who cares what Charleston's got to say about us? Let's overdevelop it. Let's get 6-lane roads all the way up the mountain. Let's knock down the waterfalls and put in apartments all over the place.
Well,
let's go for it.
I
Let's
think
figure it out.
I think that we have an idea of something that we're going to do. Randy,
Okay.
Chris, are you ready?
Yeah.
This is the first of many announcements. So tonight, Chris and I are back right after the election when we talked, and I think you had already left. You were gone with your kids doing trail life, and I commend you for doing that, by the way. I think that's a wonderful thing that you do for the kids. So now that we're open for development, it's a free-for-all. Y'all come on in. So we made the decision, Chris Ruin and I, and you're more than welcome to get in on this. We want to take advantage of all this development. I mean, if
Why
we're
not?
if we're going to open it up and everybody's going to develop, don't you think we should get a piece of the pie as well?
I want that action.
I'm gonna have my piece of it. I'm getting my real estate license right after I get my bus driver.
Are you
license.
really? With it? Hey,
I want
hey,
it.
you can sell for
Hey,
me.
you can sell for us. Yeah. So Ruin and I have got a great idea that I've been looking at about 40-something acres of property. Now, here's the big deal about it. If they try to find, they're not going to find if I buy it because it's going to be bought under an LLC, okay? So I'm not that stupid. And Chris and I have looked at a piece of property, and it is right close to, believe it or not, where's it at, Chris? Mountain Rest.
Yes.
We have found, we have
Yes.
identified 40-something acres
With
in
the-
Mountain Rest.
Very flat, little bit of a view.
Yes.
Affordable housing.
Yes, affordable housing, but we're going to take it one step further.
We got a few actually.
We're
Go ahead.
going to put a trailer park in. 200 trailers
Hold
with
on.
campers.
Let's don't call them trailer parks. Let's just call them. What's the Gucci word for them now?
Well,
affordable housing.
the name of mine is going to be.
Pre-assembled homes.
Well, we could do that, manufactured homes, but no, I want a trailer park.
Okay.
Because trailer parks are synonymous with Oconee people for development. So we're going to put a trailer park up in Mountain Rest. Now, I have a name for mine.
Is it gonna be Tornado Alley?
Nope, it's going to be called Jazzy Acres.
Welcome home to your new place to roam. At Jazzy Acres, your heart finds a home. A trailer park like never before, where every beat invites you to the floor, where the lawns are lush and jazz is luscious. Evenings cool and sky is so sumptuous. Neighbors here are friends for keeps. In Jazzy Acres, life's a mellow sweep. At Jazzy Acres, with rhythm in the trees.
Come on, y'all, clap along.
Swing your troubles away in the breeze, where your friends never want to leave. At Jazzy Acres, the charm's hard to believe.
So what do y'all think? Jazzy Acres.
I think there's a lot of money to be made.
I know there is.
So I got to tell you, this just kind of hit me. You guys need to get your propaganda together. Get ready to advertise, because Labor Day weekend, I'm hosting Lesbian Liquor Fest in Mountain Rest. So we'll be able to advertise to some potential clientele.
But that's not all. We've got another surprise.
Oh.
Now, Chris Ruin is going to take it. Chris?
Okay, so I've got a development that I've got 2 investors so far. And in fact, it's such a sure thing that I've even bought some new bling, as everybody can see. Nobody in this county has a diamond like I do. And here it is. But this name of my place is called, and it's going to actually be duplexes. So think about how many people I can get in my duplexes in my new town called Teeny Tiny Town. Tiny homes, duplexes. You got a family on top and you got a family on the bottom, and all I know is it's bling, bling, bling. But I'm doing a service. Now they may get a little crowded on the area road.
Wait a minute. So you're having duplexes? They're going to be up and down, top and bottom.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny town.
Well, this is
tiny home.
this is really going to work. For my
330.
Lesbian Liquor Fest.
Yes.
Oh, you can call it tops and bottoms.
No, it's nothing like this. Is legit. This is like 332 square feet per family. Outside entrance, and then you got the lower berth, and it's going to be a family. You're going to have 2 families. It'll be total privacy. They each will have a balcony on one side, and
No, we're serious. I mean, we're not joking.
there's money. There's money to be made. There really is.
I mean, if we're going to open the county up for development, every citizen right now should develop something. Whether it be a trailer park, an outhouse, whatever. If you've got something to develop it. Because the chairman says, y'all come on in. We're not going to control anything.
If these guys can make money,
Let's do it.
think about what people that have businesses can make money. It just so happens I have a better sense of humor. In fact, these are my developer shoes. If you can see them, I'll be carted around in a golf cart through my development.
We already have a school teacher. We have a school teacher. Yeah, we have a school teacher.
Well, hey, I like what you guys are talking about, bringing more people to the mountain.
We want to bring more to the mountain.
Because my landscape crew over at Sourwood Village actually broke ground today, and they're starting to open up the woods there for we're expanding.
Yep. Richard says, great idea, Jeff. With the immigrant invasion across the border, the cartel needs more meth customers. A perfect hot spot is a trailer park. I agree. I mean, I totally, I see the vision of Oconee County.
Hey,
But at the end of the day, if people don't care, then here's the thing. I care. If we're going to do it, nobody's doing affordable housing. We can make it nice, and we can make money. And people need to think about the money. Why should we be the ones without making money, right?
That's right. Everybody
How long did
else.
we fight it, and everybody said,
hey.
"The hell with you!
Yep.
We don't care."
Like when I went to college, I went to Trump University, and one of the things that they said there was that business is business, whether it's diamonds or diapers, it doesn't matter. Business is business, so why not? Let's get involved.
I'm serious.
Let's make some money.
Teeny tiny town, but no teeny tiny profit. Big profit.
So here's the thing. Make sure that you establish your businesses in Delaware.
Well, that's my point.
Okay?
You have to do the
make
Delaware.
Sure
Yes.
that you
Yes.
establish your LLCs in the state of Delaware.
Yep.
So that you don't have to pay any property tax or any taxes
That's
to
right.
Oconee County.
That's right.
Make sure that we have something outside of the county. Let's make sure. Let's go make these national businesses. And you know what? After we wreck this place, maybe we can find another county somewhere in another state.
There's
to
a
do the same
term.
thing.
There's a term that I want to say,
You
and
know, Luke and Jennifer moved up there to West Virginia. They may just be scouts for us. After
well,
we
they
wreck
could
this,
be.
We'll go up there.
Well, here's the deal. There's a terminology that I want to say all that's going on right now, and that I've not said on the show, but I'm going to say, Oconee is being raped every day. The way that we grew up, the way that people have come to contribute to live a peaceful coexistence is being raped.
Well, it's called gentrification. That's the proper term.
No, it's called greed.
It's called greed.
It's pure. Here's what's sad, and we talked about this. We're not against growth.
Nope.
You can have growth. You can have growth, and you could turn it into a community that's good for families. But when you have total open doors, and these guys think they snicker about Mountain Rest. When that development hits, we're going to be here. We're going to tell you, you know what, guys? Enjoy what you allow.
It's funny that you say that everywhere through the whole thing for over 2.5 years, the one thing that we've heard the most here on this show is, number one, we're tired of seeing this uncontrolled growth. Uncontrolled. Nope, we don't want it. We want development. We need to control this kind of growth. But yet, I don't consider this past election, this primary that we had, a complete wipe. In other words, they didn't take off and run with it. We're talking some lost by a couple of points or a couple of votes, like this, that, and the other. But everybody says we don't want all this development. Well, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to get it. And again, you've got 4 years now. 4 years coming up, unless something happens between now and November, unless there's a secret campaign coming that opens up, that somebody decides to do a write-in candidate, or if the Democrats get off their rear ends and they decide to run a candidate.
Yep.
They can. I mean, the Democrats can run a candidate.
Can.
Anybody can.
It's fair game.
It's fair game. And again, that's where we stand. Everybody keeps complaining, development, there are people coming in, they're taking our farmlands. And again, you had the opportunity to do it, but you did nothing about it. You fell asleep.
Hey, it's just like I said a couple months ago. We on June 11th, we were going to get to see the soul.
We did.
Of Oconee County.
We saw it.
It exposed itself.
Yep.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Now we just have to be prepared to play the cards that we were dealt.
And it was
is
not
what it
the
is.
No.
transplants.
No.
And it was the people that talked about, we don't want people coming in and tell us what to do and change the thing. I got news for you guys. That what you're going to see is worse than in your imagination you could see. And the ones that are making the money are the ones that are the natives that have talked you into thinking that it has to do with property rights. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
Richard is very accurate in when he says the voters got what they wanted. Now I hope they want what they got.
I'm going to make some money, and I'm going to make some money. Why not?
Why not? Everybody has the opportunity right now to make money.
And you can't find fault. Nobody can find fault with investors making some money, right?
No.
I mean, everybody's got a 401k. They're investors. They're 401ks and all that kind of stuff. We talk about the investors wrecking the world, but everybody's got a 401k and they're counting on it for their retirement.
And everybody has to remember it was the OCC through their bullying and intimidation, and people rolled over and said, "Scratch my tummy for me if that's what you want."
Speaking of
they have it now.
Speaking of the OCC, I hear that your best friend is no longer friends with you on Facebook. He blocked you.
Oh, that's right. David Nix blocked me about 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Wow.
You know why he blocked me? Here's the thing that's very interesting. What this guy doesn't realize, the internet's forever.
Hold on a second. Let me pop a top. There we go. Go ahead.
Okay. The internet's forever. I have the actual post where he used his slurs. Now he's crossed over saying, "Oh, I never said it. That's not true." I'm like, are you for real? You really want to pass that crap around? We have it. But he couldn't take it. So what he did is he blocked me. The man that says, "Oh, you guys, you block if you don't blah blah blah." Hey, I was
Again,
having conversations.
Again, Chris. The man said it. we did everything we could to let people of Oconee County know who these folks are. And like I said, the soul
knows who they are.
The soul of the county, it has been exposed.
It has. It's been exposed.
The people that live here don't care.
They don't.
They don't care. They don't care about anti-Semitic stuff. They don't care about racist stuff. None of that stuff bothers them.
They want to talk about it.
So-
they want to talk, and they want to say, well, I don't want that, but they won't do anything about it. They'd rather sit on their little pretentious derrieres and do absolutely nothing.
Well, the ones that do care are vocal. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. But there's plenty more.
The ones that really come out
that
follow
don't care.
our show, follow the show. They
So,
do.
so there's a lot of folks out there that just
I mean,
they have a different soul.
help me understand something.
Okay.
So we had a candidate that ran against Bill Sanford, Adam Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
This candidate, confirmed, has never voted.
Well, you don't need to vote to write laws. You don't need
Whoa.
to vote to represent us.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
You don't need to.
But my
you don't
point,
need to
my
have
point of
any
my,
experience at
no,
all.
apparently you don't have to have
Well,
any
what's his
knowledge or
background?
anything. Well, that's nobody seems. Well, I know him. I know who he is. But you never voted, and you're going to run for office.
But here's the thing, Jeff.
Does that mean you're? But what? Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He ran against Bill Sanford, who's been in office for
Since 1995.
I voted for Sanford ever since I moved here.
So 95 to now, I can't even do the math. I've been drinking. But anyways, that's a long time. That tequila's terrible stuff, man. It's got me.
And yeah, but,
anyway,
look at what he's brought to the
so
county.
I joined the Navy in 1996. So that's apparently 25, 30 years ago. 30 years experience in the State House. Now he was beat in the Republican primary in Oconee County by someone who's never voted.
Never voted.
Been to the polls. Probably couldn't even find his precinct on a
This
map.
is a mockery.
So, but you know,
Of
we
responsibility.
talk. We've been as conservatives. We talk about replacing.
We're not
a lot
getting
of these old,
shit
these,
in this
these
county
old folks.
anymore.
We preach that we need to refresh. We need to refresh. We need to refresh. We ain't gonna get no fresher than a guy that's never been there, never done anything, has no clue, and probably isn't even actually willing.
So is he going to
participate.
use OCC tactics when he's in Columbia? He's going to go down there and he's going to raise hell and threaten and bully. And you know what they're going to say? Boy, why don't you
No.
come down to the bayou where I live?
No, he's what he's
Well,
gonna do.
there you go. They're going to listen to that shit.
You know what he's gonna do?
Sorry. Hey.
He's gonna find out.
I'm
I'm
They're
gonna
not
have
gonna listen to that
I'm
stuff.
gonna have to install a 7-second delay. I see it coming.
I'm sorry.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
He's going to get down there. He's not going to know where the bathrooms or the coffee pots are. He's going to smell bad. He's not going to be wearing a suit. People are going to think he's a visitor down there. Nobody's going to talk to him. And for 4 years, he's going to say nothing will have happened.
And they're going to be
And
like
all this
this.
money that Sanford and Whitmire brought to the county this year, $4.5 million for Walhalla
You've
Police
got
Department,
to
right?
be
Well,
able to-
5.5 million for the city of Seneca.
But that's not coming again.
Well,
Because
apparently-
nobody's going to know he's there.
Well, it's over.
That's fine. You know what, though? Here's the thing. People are going to get what they voted for. You don't like people that have worked hard, people that are well respected. You know, you want to choose people like that because they're going to be like, I'm so tough. You know what, guys? The Perry Smith is what it is.
So you're absolutely right. That's the thing. The Columbia folks, they're just going to think he's on a tour, and be like, He'll bring up a bill on a napkin from the spot. This is what we want to do. Come on.
I want Mary Ann writes in and says that the OCRP stood back and let this happen. How did the OCRP let this happen? When you have two entities that were working against each other. You have the OCC that they're doing their own thing, and you had the OCRP trying to do, to me, what was right, but yet was getting blocked all the time by the crap that the OCC puts together. Why did they not call or canvass their voters? Adam Duncan will be controlled by Durham. She's correct on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think there's going to be a write-in.
What?
I think there'll be a write-in candidate take it.
There's a distinct possibility that
but the thing about that's a waste of time.
No,
it really is. That's
why?
a waste of time.
Why?
Let it.
Somebody
run its
not
course.
owned by anybody.
Look, the thing about it is the Republicans didn't do a very good job, like Marion says, but the Democrats didn't do anything.
Well, I can tell you, 7:30 tonight. There's a big surprise.
That's fine. But we want to talk about the OCRP not doing nothing. There ain't even been a Democrat candidate. There's not been a Libertarian candidate. There
That
hasn't
was
been
not
any other
November,
candidates.
yeah.
So it is what it is. We're the people from Bill Sandifer's district now they're Adam Duncan's district.
You know. Here's
get
the,
what
here-
you get.
Here's the thing. Here's this is what makes me sad. The kind of candidates that people are. You get somebody like Sandifer, a gentleman, a guy that could work with people. He's a Republican. I don't really care. He could be a Democrat. It doesn't matter. They are choosing people that are use ugly tactics. And you know what that tells me is you have at that point you have ceased to be somebody that's a genuine human being that has empathy for people, and you're just becoming a bully politics.
It goes right back to what I said. The soul of Oconee has been exposed. These people that want mean tweets and cheap gas. That's all it is.
Do you
The
know?
soul of the
Wait
county
a minute.
has been exposed.
Let me tell the county this one thing, and this really bothers me. So you do know we had one of these guys that ran, who happened to call a woman a mother with children, and I got to be careful of my language, a hoe. On the
Ladies of
journal.
the evening.
And what happened a couple weeks ago? There was a woman, a good woman, who had talked about her assault in the past. And you had this David Nix talking about her feigned outrage. You had a woman that was traumatized, and this is the kind of guy that's a spokesperson for this group talking to this woman. How bad is that, Randy?
Chris, that is the soul of these people. That's who they are.
That is beyond human. That doesn't even.
Those are your neighbors.
That makes. People.
These are your neighbors, Chris.
You know what? People say I hurt people with words. You know why they do that? Because I won't listen to that crap that they do when they hurt good people for no reason. Bully.
That's what they
intimidate.
do.
Exactly.
It's just like Dr. Thorsland said about them kids that rap song. It's just boys being boys. It's just people from Oconee County being people from Oconee County. It's just who they are. It's
Hey.
in their nature.
I tell you what. When these guys.
Well, I have to say, I grew up here, and it's not in my nature.
It's not everybody's nature, but this group.
But
these
some of
people-
these people in this
this
group
is-
did not
this
grow
is
up
who they
here.
are.
Hey, wait a minute. Some of these people in this group did not grow up here.
No, but if you agree with them, you could be one of them.
But they have controlled the soul of the county.
They got it. They own everything. And I'll tell you what I really believe is going to start happening after January. I think we're going to start seeing more and more people leave county employment because they're going to start putting their people in.
Oh, of course.
It's coming.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's coming.
Have at it, man. You know what? It gets to a point where it's like, whatever. People are going to allow it. They're going to allow it. But I tell you what's really surprising to me is you have a group over at Duke. And Duke's got some very, very strong policies about diversity, about bullying. There are some things over there that, I worked with a company that was probably 10 to 15 times bigger. And I'm telling you what, even then we had checks and balances. You got a facility here where there are things going on, and I don't believe for a second that these senior leaders don't know what's going on. I think you got people that are winking, nodding, like, whatever. That's okay. That'll catch up with them sooner or later.
Randy, you want to address the comments?
So since Randy, you don't know what you're talking about, we called District 245 voters. We suggested to Democrats that they vote for Bill Sandifer, Julian, Gwen, and India. That's great, but where's your candidates?
Where's the,
Where's the Democrat candidates? Where are the options for voters in Oconee County? Where are the options?
I do remember a time that both sides, you had both Republicans and Democrats were feeling it when you had a choice. I mean, when you went to the November
It's
general
like-
election,
it's
you had
like-
a choice.
It's like a couple years ago, Jack Collins ran against Julian Davis.
That's correct.
Now, he was a Democrat for a lot of years. Then he decided to run for office. He was running on a Republican ticket,
And almost beat him by 36 votes.
And then he lost the primary. And he came in with a write-in campaign and damn near beat him by 30 points.
But think about this. So wait a minute. I understand what you guys are saying, but when you read what Marianne is saying, Marianne's saying in this primary specifically, the Democrats were getting behind Julian and Gwen and any of the Democrats were actually. So when you think about it, they have their own primary, but they actually were getting behind these guys.
But wait a minute, they couldn't have voted.
Right.
If they voted in the Democratic primary for how they couldn't vote in the Republican primary. So that's a null point. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, so there,
I could vote.
It seems to me.
But you couldn't vote for House District 2 on the Democratic side because you didn't.
But what she's saying, right?
But I voted for
But
Sanders.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. What Marianne's saying is it's open primaries. You can vote in either one. You have to
Exactly.
choose.
You have to choose. You
Right.
can't vote. And
Right.
if you vote in Republican, you can't vote in a Democrat.
Right.
That's right.
So
and I
so-
didn't vote
but-
in the Democratic primary.
Right. So what I'm saying is if we have an option other than the Republican Party to vote in, more people should be voting in other parties.
Here's the problem. County government should not be partisan politics.
I agree.
It should be nonpartisan. The school district's nonpartisan. Your city council is nonpartisan.
But that's not what the Republican Party wants.
That's exactly right. The Republican Party is pushing it for everything, including school board, to be partisan.
Yeah.
This is the problem that we're facing right now. When you put the Republicans and the Democrats and you put all this politics together, it's not about the people anymore. It's about certain agendas that certain people want to follow through with.
It's just about control and power. And where's that gotten us?
Nowhere.
At any level.
Nowhere.
At any level, it's all a mess. And right now,
Absolutely.
because it's such a mess, we getting complete jackasses in office.
Well, let me explain something that Sean's bringing up. I'm going to move the conversation up a little bit. You know, we have a school board race that's coming up for 2, 4, and 5 for November 2024 elections. The current chairman is soliciting now candidates to run for school board. Brace yourself, boys. That's going to be a good one. If the OCC takes control of, it is.
But how can it get any worse?
It's going to get worse.
But how? We're already at the bottom.
No, it could get. Oh, no.
believe me.
It's going to get even worse.
When they get so extreme, hey, listen, you know what? These people that want to vote for them, go for it. My kids are grown and college educated and everything else. You want to put these extremists in there in a public school system? Go for it.
This is
I
going to
don't
get
care.
worse.
But that's what I'm saying, though. How can it get any worse? If you look at where South Carolina education is and where Oconee County education is, in
worse.
contrast to the rest of the world, the rest of the United States, and the rest of the states.
It's going to get worse.
Well, we're not at the bottom.
But
We're close.
But here's the
I
thing.
know, no, but we're not at the bottom.
but here's-
No, we're not at the bottom, but it's
we
close.
can be at the bottom.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're where we're at now, and then they partisan it up, and they take all the books out of the library, right? And there's nothing for the kids to read. There's no math for them to do. There's nothing because it's all been taken
We're
away.
going to be able to read Dumbo, for
But
God's
how in
sake.
the world are we going to get high tech jobs come here when we're the dumbest county in the state?
You know what? But Randy, you're making a good point. Think
Very
about
good
this.
point.
Think about this. You've got these people that want to do all this. They're very cloistered in their thinking. I got news for these guys. Randy, Jeff's different, and Jeff's out of this. What I'm going to say, because Jeff has got a world view of thinking. But you think about this. We come from the outside. I've lived a lot of places. You have too. You've competed with a lot of different people. Me too. You're going to get these people so cloistered with their children, getting the books out of the libraries, getting their view of thinking being very one-dimensional. And what's going to happen is they want their kids to have jobs in Oconee. This is exactly where they're going to live and exactly where they're going to die. They are their children's worst enemy for their children growing into
here's the problem.
competitive adults.
Here's the problem with what you're saying. And because I have been in a lot of places, I've seen a whole lot of things, been a lot, and there is a lot going on. But take Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, for instance. That place, boom, grew. We show pictures of it all the time, right? Well, the local folks that were born there and grew up there can't afford to live and work there because of all the outside money coming in. Now, we want to protect Oconee County for our children. That's what they said, right?
That's exactly what they said.
You better give them an education enough that they can compete with the outsiders coming in to have those jobs. Because you can't work
an education.
You can't work at the Longhorn Steakhouse and afford a $300,000 house.
Here's the problem.
They can't afford a teeny tiny town.
Here's the problem with education. And I, as a born and raised here, one time we had a good education system. We had teachers that actually cared. The problem that I see is when you allow the government to get involved with education, it's a recipe for disaster. But the other problem you have is the children's home life. Either they don't have a mom or they don't have a dad. They've got a dad that's on crack. The dad's in prison.
Hey, Project 2025 is going to fix that.
That is a major issue.
Oh,
and the teachers, wait a minute, listen, I'm being serious here. Yeah. The teachers are having to play mommy and daddy. I am married to a teacher. Mm-hmm. I know what she goes through. She's getting ready to take on a new, to go into second grade. The problem is when you get the government mixed up in it and you get parents that don't give a damn about their kids, there's where your recipe for disaster is coming from. I'm going to tell you, the government has let this county down, period. The school district now, to me, is so far removed from what's actually happening in the schools. I mean, my God, you have a superintendent. Look at the crap that he's done. He said, he is on video saying, well, if you don't like it here, get the hell out. Guess what? You can't get teachers coming in now. They don't want these jobs.
And the problem, too, is once you work in a school system like Oconee County and you try to go to another county that you're already tainted in the other districts.
They blackball them.
Yeah.
They blackball the teachers. That's happened numerous times. Teachers that don't want to follow, they want to be teachers, they want to do the things, and then they get blackballed if they go. Mm-hmm. Teachers in Oconee County cannot speak out on things how they feel. If they do, it is a target on their back.
You know the thing that bothers me? My wife is from South Carolina, her family. My wife grew up in Greenville County, so all through the public school system. She could run, you know what? She'll sit there and look at me like, give me that googly eye because I know what she's doing is like playing me. But this woman runs circles around me. And she was educated in South Carolina. These people that are friends of mine that grew up here, that close to my age, these people can rival anybody in the world in education. What's happening now is it's coming to the point where they're becoming so enclosed, and they get a few people that are gaining control through any way they can, and they are bringing them down to their level. Well, these people they're bringing down to, I got news for them. They would never be able to compete with people like me in the marketplace or other people that are as competitive and have worked hard. They just, the mentality that they're doing, they're hurting these children so badly. They're taking these books and they're not exposing the purpose of the education. When I got out of college with my master's degree, I learned one thing. I got out and I thought, you know what? I'm really a dummy. But I knew that if I just listened and I would learn, that's what it taught me, that I could learn. But you get to this point where you think you know so much because you haven't been exposed to any other ideas, you will never achieve your dreams, and they're doing it.
A goldfish only grows to the size of its pond.
Well, that's true.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, we need to move on. It is right now 7:40. I received an email about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the email is pretty interesting. It says, Jazzy Jeff, I want you to think about something for a moment as the November election approaches. Can we find a citizen to consider writing in for the South Carolina House District 2 seat? One that is dedicated and a trustworthy candidate with an unblemished record. One that has never had a foreclosed on home or arrested for disorderly conduct. An integrity committed to our community and beyond a reproach. One that offers a fresh and genuine dedication to serving the interest of District 2. How about a leader that's not only honest, but also deeply invested in our community's well-being. Maybe has some ideas and passions for some change that could make him an ideal candidate to represent us. Jeff, we need an opportunity to seize on to elect someone who truly cares about our future. Might I recommend someone that you know very well to be a writing candidate? Ladies and gentlemen, in a surprising turn of events, Chris Ruing has officially announced his candidacy for the South Carolina House District 2 seat. Known for his dedication and integrity, Chris Ruing emphasized his spotless record, proudly stating he has never been foreclosed on nor arrested for disorderly conduct. Chris Ruing campaign promises a fresh perspective and unwavering commitment to the community. It's time for honest leadership and positive change. It's time for Chris Ruing to become a better man for District 2.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I go out of town for 2 weeks, and this is what we get.
dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you in November to write in Chris Ruing for District 2. Please consider writing in Chris Ruing for South Carolina House District 2. All clear on the no foreclosures or handcuffs. Chris Ruing, ladies and gentlemen, write in CHRISROUEN. That's Chris Ruing for D2 in November. Now, ladies and gentlemen, part of the Ruing Campaign Committee.
Kathy, you need to come back.
Here we
This
go.
is awful.
We have a group, the Oconee Development Quartet, has actually recorded a song in honor of Chris Ruing. And Chris, I have that song played right here for you right now.
Ruin's the one we need to lead us through the night. With honesty, he'll guide us to find the shining light. In District 2 we trust, no other feels so right. Ruin will bring us justice with courage in his sight. We need Ruin now to lift us to the sky. With faith we all will follow. Together we will rise. When shadows try to fall, he's standing firm and tall. Ruin's our true defender. He'll answer every call. With every step we make, for him we'll never break. Integrity and honor in his name, no mistake. We need Ruin now to lift us to the sky. With faith we all will follow. Together we will rise.
We need Chris Ruing now more than ever.
You know what?
It's only 1,001 votes we're asking for, writing Chris Ruing in November for the South Carolina House District 2 seat. Congratulations, Chris.
That is all I am asking for. 1,001 vote. How many did that other guy have?
I quit counting. I don't know. We just want 1,001.
Yeah, that's
The only thing I'm going to ask is, are you going to have a barbecue?
well, sure. I
No,
will.
no.
When
no.
I win.
No, we're not going to have a barbecue. No.
Well, actually, it's up to Dr. I actually hired Dr. Jazzy. He's my campaign manager.
Yes.
All I'm
I
saying-
will announce your contribution and your seat at the table in the cupping days because you've got a big, important role.
All I'm saying is the
You
lady.
could- you could be part of my cabinet.
I don't know how involved I can get in politics anymore.
I
Oh,
pick,
you will. This
I
is
pick them
simple.
from all over.
But listen, I'm concerned. I am really concerned about the upstate right now. We got a lady that won the Republican primary, who's from Mississippi, and she took Jeff Duncan's place, and they're not going to have a Faith and Freedom barbecue because they don't. I have been to Mississippi, and I hadn't found any decent barbecue down there my whole life. So I'm concerned about the upstate.
I wouldn't be. We're going to hell.
But we're faith, freedom, and barbecue. And it's like we ain't got none of
Shouldn't
it now.
it be fatum? Shouldn't it be fatum? What is it? Freedom,
Well, look at
faith,
Jeff.
and adultery.
Look at Jeff Duncan. Okay,
Hey,
and then
But here's the thing. Hey, man, throw a party. A man can throw a party.
hey, you
We
know,
good barbecue?
It was mediocre, but I've been to Mississippi. They don't got good barbecue in Mississippi.
Yeah, but they got good crawfish, though.
I'm not a crustacean.
Maybe
fan.
we'll
I
have,
love
maybe we'll have a
crustaceans.
smelt barbecue.
Look, we already got our own crustacean right here with Chris Ruin. He's got crabs from handshaking at Walmart.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
The blue ointment worked, did it?
Okay, so let me ask you. Let me ask a couple questions. Do you know that they even have elected cats and dogs into office?
Yes.
So how bad can it be? I vote. I've never been arrested. I talk against domestic violence. I talk for equality. I talk against intimidation, bullying. I talk for equality. I talk against xenophobia, homophobia. Think about this. Anti-Semitism. You know what, guys? It's really easy. It's really easy. All you got to do is vote for somebody. Don't vote for me. Or vote for me. I don't care. Write
Vote
me in.
for Chris Ruin.
But at the end of the day, all you have to do is vote for somebody that actually cares and has empathy for people. Actually cares enough that they're going to put children first when it comes to things like Medicaid expansion. Okay? Think about that. Food, hunger. What? Think about that. That's the kind of crap that we don't do. You get with the OCC. Now, one of these guys is thinking about anything other than themselves. Oh, I haven't seen this. This is good. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. With that out of the way at 7:47, what else do we want to talk about? We've run the gamut this evening. Do you want to have a little conversation real quick about this video and all the stuff going on with Judge Singleton in the probate court office? This is a mess.
Oh, yeah.
This is a mess. I mean, it is a complete mess.
Sounds to me like they
Because
need
before
law
we go
enforcement.
off, we're going to talk about your little badge you got on over there.
Well, hold on a minute. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Now, what Kathy just brought up is donate your salary, Chris. And I would appreciate it if you would donate your salary to a disabled veteran that's wearing a peach shirt and right now when you get elected.
You would appreciate that?
I would. Yeah, I would. Who wouldn't?
Are you gonna write me in?
With a promise like that, yeah.
He can't write you in though.
You can't write me in because you're a Republican.
No, he
no.
lives up in Mountain Rest.
When they wrote Perry in, they wrote him in both districts.
That's
I write
true.
you in.
Okay, write it in then.
So, but yeah, let's talk about this the YouTube sensation of that has come out of Oconee County.
But do we
in the
want to
last
talk
little
about that at law enforcement?
I want to talk about that at the very end about
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
So, and I do have to. I want to premise this again. And I've reached out to Judge Singleton and I've asked
And
for an interview. And
I have talked to
and
him.
I was out of town
Yep.
when he responded. I was at High Adventure Camp and we had about one bar of service for a week, and then it was 4th of July, so I didn't want to bother him. But he did return my message, so I'll get with him next week, and hopefully we can have an interview. But yeah, it seems like real quick you can be a sensation on the internet.
This goes into a whole.
Well, is it legal?
It is. Everything that happened was, but the point of it is, this is spinning off on a story that has been in the making for the last 4.5, 5 years. And it's been in the local newspaper. You've read it. The Queen of Uganda. She came here and married a local individual by Dole Pierce was the gentleman's name, and he died. And it has been a nightmare ever since that he passed away. And there's a lot of other things in play. So now Judge Singleton is having to hear, as a probate court judge, he's having to hear all of this. And apparently they have a whole wide range of things national and they've got videos upon videos and things that doesn't necessarily tell the complete truth of what's going on. Danny actually has done nothing wrong. He did everything right according to state law and the books, but there's some things that I think Danny needs to address so that folks get a better sense of what's going on. But it's a nightmare. One thing that we will mention, in one of the videos, the local newspaper owner is sitting in the court in the public gallery section, which Randy and I, we kind of thought was very interesting.
Well, I don't understand why it was there, and then there was nothing in the paper that about the case. What was why
The only thing
is probate court open to just anybody can go in there and sit down. I mean, that's what
it's a public court venue, so the answer would be yes.
But you can't. But the only people that can take video, obviously,
Are
is
the court? Yeah.
So, but that's just one of the things going on with the probate court.
The other things go back to a previous court.
Yeah, and just to think that, and that's the thing about public office, and that's one of the things that these folks that have just got to office, that you wanted to be there, you ran, you spent a lot of money. Well, now you're going to have to deal with the mess that your predecessors left, whether it's the treasurer's office or it's whatever Bill Sanford's done or whatever. You've taken that, you have it.
It's
now,
a mess.
right?
I'm telling you, it's a mess.
So Judge Singleton inherited a mess. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy before him got fired, right?
He was suspended.
Relieved or something.
No, he was suspended.
But then there was an interim person who may or may not have known what the hell she was doing.
Right. Then you have a police chief that was involved. That was
right, and then
now he's got to pay back money. It's believe me, Judge Singleton has a mess on his hands.
But I've got 2 or 3 emails from folks that talk about the probate court, and I really want to ask some questions about it. It was none of my business, but they made it my business by saying, "Hey, Randy, let's talk Oconee. Can you do a story on this and how the probate court has affected me?" So I plan on asking questions about those things. That probably Judge Singleton's not been in office long enough that had been him that did it, but he's still the one that has to fix it if it's a problem.
Oh yeah, and believe me, I think he inherited a mess. And I'm not going to necessarily even blame that the mess was even the prior probate court judge, the one that was suspended, which is Kenny Johns. Kenny was suspended. But the interim that was held, which is Ashley Rice, that's where some of the problems are lying right now. I see a conflict of interest. You've got a probate court judge that's interim probate court judge, but yet you also have the police chief of the city of Walhalla and their husband and wife. Something wrong with that picture. I mean, tell me, am I wrong? Does it stink?
Well, that when you're in a one-horse town, there's not that many people and positions, and they don't spread them out very well. And it seems like that they don't necessarily look to have the best candidate, but their best friend in office.
Well, Walhalla, unfortunately, has another problem brewing right now, and that's water. They're having a major issue with, they spent all this money for that brand new water plant that they built on Lake Kiwi. And I think it's been over the last 5 or 6 weeks, all that's coming out of it is brown, stinky water.
Well, I tell you what.
So there's an infrastructure failure?
Hey, the thing about it is that's fine because every restaurant in Walhalla is a Mexican restaurant, and it makes the food taste like you got it right out of the Rio Grande.
Oh, come on.
No, this is a serious.
I'm just saying, it adds flavor to the food.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But seriously, then on top of that, with the quick firing or termination or resignation of Scott Ferris, it wasn't but a day later he's picked up and is going to work for Westminster now. So there is issues brewing within the city of Walhalla, and I'd be interested to find out from Mayor Hall in a conversation like, hey, tell me what's going on here.
If they got that many problems with the clean water, just think about the brown water.
Well, they've had
the problems that they're going to have with that.
Well, they've had this problem ever since they built that.
Extrapolated across the entire county because of the breakage of the things they should have fixed when they worked on Sewer South.
Right.
Well,
but here's another thing though. We've all seen
people will see.
We've all seen the OJSRA's latest and greatest predictions for the future.
We're going to join up with Anderson County now. I see
145,000 people, and then we're gonna have to do joint sewer with another county.
Yeah.
Because we've already bonded all we can. let's borrow some more money to put right in the shit. fund.
Speaking of bonding, the court date I think has been moved up a little bit. I had that date. It's changed.
It's not the 30th anymore.
No, it's changed. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the date. But no, it has changed a bit. Give me just a second here. July 17th at 2 p.m. They've moved. They have a new court date for July 17th at 2 p.m. And again, I'm interested to find out, what all of this, what's going to happen here. Again, the law's a law, Constitution's Constitution, and I'm interested to see where this heads. $25 million. Where's it going to go? Is it?
The thing for me is I don't really care what political party somebody's in for these counties. I don't really care. What I care about is, and I don't even care if I agree, because I'm not in all the details as far as what these people are in every day. What I care about is trust. I don't trust these guys
Well,
at all. I don't
Oconee-
trust them with their money. I don't trust what they're doing for the future. I don't trust their tactics. I don't trust them. That's the problem.
I got to tell you,
And I don't think
I
they have the
think-
best interests at heart.
I think the Oconee County is in a real big world of hurt.
I do.
And I tell you what, I tuned in to watch my local church on YouTube this morning. I didn't go. I hadn't gone in a while because there's a lot of political stuff.
Political drama.
Yeah,
And it's happening in my church too as well.
But here's the thing: when I was on there and looking on YouTube this morning, when I first got here, when I first moved to Oconee County, they had an organist and a pianist and a full choir, and every seat in the place was full. Well, I logged in this morning to take a look. Wife's out of town. I drank too much tequila last night. I didn't get out. But I found a tequila alternative. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. But so I tuned in, and the organ's covered. There's nobody playing the organ. I look, and the pianist is not there. There's nobody playing the piano, and just a very dismal crowd. And it was like, what's going on? How did that get wrecked?
How?
How?
I can tell you. Church has been wrecked since COVID.
What happened?
Everybody decided to stay home and start watching it because they couldn't go to church.
But
That's what happened.
But there's more. There's just everybody's just so ill and mean to one another, and it's like, wow, it's all going away.
Look at Kathy's last comment.
Which one? If your church talks politics, they need to pay taxes?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that church politics and governmental politics are the
No,
same.
there's not the same. There's biblical issues
there's-
going on right now. There's
Yeah, I mean-
about the philosophies and between things that's said in the Bible and trying to circumvent. If you're a Christian and you're a believer, then you believe the Bible as the truth.
But you got people that have been going to the same church for 45 years that are now deciding that there's no benefit for them at that place under that preacher. 45 years gone.
It's Rennie. It's just not there. It's everywhere. It's happening. It's happening in my church.
5 years these people been going to that church. Some of them longer, some of them shorter.
My church is 110 years old, and it used to be packed every Sunday. And guess what? If we have 5 or 10 people there, we're doing well. But it's happening all over. It's something that's going on.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is a sad thing. It really is, because a lot of times the churches. When I grew up in church, the youth group was very instrumental, and some of the kids, that's how they were able to, the people took care of the kids in the community that didn't have necessarily a good home life.
Right, but my thing is, in this particular church, this time last year, there was 160 people there every Sunday.
And now there's not.
And now you'd be lucky if it's 25. They got nobody to play the piano, nobody playing the organ, 3 people trying to sing, Devil's in the phone booth, dial 911. But it's like, what happened? Who made the decision to run these folks off? And at what point should that guy not have gotten fired?
Well, again,
Yeah, but-
ever since COVID is when churches died.
Well.
I mean, that's I was part of it. I mean, when you had to do the church outside in the parking lot, people said, well, we can just watch it online. We don't have to come. And that's what a lot of these people do. So, hey, I want to get to There's a reason. Chris, tell them about your Timu, your badge that you've got.
This is
Ho! Don't shoot!
no. Look at this. This is a official Timu, and this was the one. They had cheaper ones. We had one for 99 cents. I paid $6. This is like a Timu police officer's badge. I'm not impersonating an officer. It is a law enforcement badge that you can buy off Timu. Now, this is worth as much
Damn, that scared me.
as people that would go around saying that, trying to use jobs they've had in the past to try to intimidate people. Mm-hmm. It's worth as much. I could say the same thing. I'm not even pretending to be a cop. But we have people that do that.
That scared the shit out of me.
Well,
It should.
there's a reason for that.
Yes.
I want to ask the question collectively. If someone has retired from law enforcement, they retired, does that make them still an officer of the law and they can still represent the sheriff's department?
Well,
Okay, first of all, they've retired.
I want.
But it wasn't even
here's the thing about that: retiring from GE, retiring from the Navy or whatever. Let's talk about that. No matter what I do in life after retiring from the Navy, if I get in trouble, if in my name and I do something bad, it's going to say retired Navy chief did X, Y, and Z.
Okay. Right.
Well, does that I've negatively represented the Navy at that point?
I think you're missing my point.
No,
You're missing.
I'm coming to that.
But you're missing my point.
I'm coming to that. Yes, if we retire, our character and our the way we deal with everyone else as retired sailors or retired law enforcement, that still reflects bad on the police department.
You're missing the point.
Hold on,
Go ahead, though, but you're missing my point.
No, I'm not. But do you to answer your question? Does our actions reflect on our previous?
That's not what I'm asking.
But no, I'm still getting there. You slow down. Slow down.
We're talking about misrepresentation.
Now, listen. Can I go as a retired chief, go back to a ship and walk in and get online and start working? No, you can't do that, and you can't let people think that you can. That's against that's immoral, and that should be a crime of moral turpitude. For sure. Yeah, you can't carry it if you had a badge for 10 years and you can't walk around showing it to people saying I was a cop and I could arrest you. You can't do that.
Or pick up the phone and say that you're working with the Oconee County Sheriff's Office.
No, there's a difference.
Absolutely can't do that.
There's a difference between working with them and I was.
No, and I agree. Yeah. And my point to all of that is when you got a guy doing that, that's a reflection on the sheriff and his office and the lack of fortitude that the sheriff has. So if there's people doing that and the sheriff's allowing that to happen, we got a weak sheriff.
Well,
and we need a new one.
Let me just say that has happened. That did happen. And I'm completely aware of the whole incident.
But you see what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
It's a reflection on the sheriff's department. It's a reflection on the sheriff and the weakness of the sheriff. So if the sheriff's choosing not to do anything about it, the sheriff's weak.
But not only was it directed towards me, but it's directed towards other people as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Representing. And the thing of it is, once you leave employment from a law enforcement agency, your certification stops. Okay?
Absolutely.
It stops. Criminal Justice Academy, I talked to him because I wanted to verify the facts that, with the situation.
So that was a breaking of the law.
Technically, it was.
And if the sheriff doesn't want to enforce the law?
Well, the sheriff has been informed that this is happening. Mm-hmm. He's been told several times that this certain individual is representing his department and conducting official police business. And on top of that,
for personal gain?
For that potentially, yes, Chris, making phone calls of trying to track down information and running NCIC and all the other stuff. It's going on right now. And the reason I bring this up, a gentleman contacted me and let me know that this individual had called him looking for information on me. Mm-hmm. and said, quote, who it was and what he wanted and a whole bunch of other things. But that's the point that I bring up here is that we know what's going on. This individual is still doing it.
Well, we've brought that up before. The Dixie Mafia never was actually beheaded in the South. It's still there.
It is running rampant right
runs-
now in Oconee.
Because our sheriff probably doesn't know how to fix it.
And this individual has ties to that.
You know, you know what? Okay. I hear what you're both saying. I like Crenshaw. I talked to Crenshaw 2-3 weeks ago about a separate issue. Typical crap, the same person trying to play that crap with me. And you know me, man, all I got to do is drop a dime, man. And I'm like, and I'm calling the cops. Because that's how you deal with these guys. And Crenshaw took it serious, and I talked to him, you know, whatever. And I think he's got a tough job. Now, move to what Jeff's talking about. The thing that bothers me is who did that should be in jail. And you know what? You can do a lot of this all you want, like this dude that made that call does. The great equalizer is law and order. And nobody should get special favors. And when they're pulling that kind of stuff, they need to be in jail and charged. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree.
Let's be realist for a second, though. For the last 30 years in Oconee County, police officers haven't gotten paid a decent wage. We can all agree for that, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea that they've all got to have second businesses and third businesses and their wife's got to work 2 jobs.
They do that in Chicago.
But listen. It's worse here because they got to do the same job as a Chicago cop here, but they're not making the same money. So the idea that they would go astray is not something that would be outside the realm of possibility. But now that they've got a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 raises from county council to bring that up, that shit's got to stop because you're now actually real paid professionals, not just hillbillies with badges.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to act like you're getting paid.
Well, the problem is the individual that we're referring to is still operating above the law.
But
then again,
the ones that are paid police officers need to do something about the ones who are not, that are disparaging their names by the way they're doing their actions.
well, I agree with you, but it's not. It doesn't seem like that's happening.
But 7 years ago, when Crenshaw was the lowest paid sheriff in the state of South Carolina, I get it. I wouldn't do much either. Shit. But now that you're not, earn your money.
Mm-hmm. You're right. All right. Anything else for the good of the group tonight? If not, we're going to call this meeting adjourned. Again, don't forget, write Chris Ruin in November.
You write it in.
Write it in. You have to write it in as CHRISROUEN for D2. If you live in the District 2, that's who you have to write in for Chris Ruin.
But that's not to be confused with the Chris Ruin the OCC will write in, which is RUIN.
Right. They would do that. No, they're gonna vote for their guy. Hey, wait a minute. Within that, this guy that beat Sandifer out.
Yep, Adam.
I'm assuming that this guy has never had any trouble with the law or any of that stuff, right?
But now, here's the thing. As a write-in candidate, do you have to file with the Ethics Commission?
I
No.
don't have to do squat.
He doesn't have to do squat.
My campaign is being.
Hold on. Hold the presses.
It's DNB. My campaign is in this room, right?
Listen. Send the donation checks to 400 Highland View Drive, Mountain Red, South Carolina, 29664. I'll say that again. Send all the donation checks for the write-in campaign for Chris Ruin to 400 Highland View Drive, Mountain Red, South Carolina.
He's going to be the treasurer.
29664.
Who is
If we don't got to report anything, send me the money.
No, if it's a write-in, you don't have to report it.
Send me.
In other words, he's not going to be a petition candidate. It's a group of people out in the community wants him to write. We can write him in. And as long as we do that and he's not involved with it, he won't. He's just going to sit over and look pretty and smile and, wave at people. It's perfectly legal.
Hey man, you got a golden retriever
Hey, man,
that won
so
in
it-
California.
Hold on. So I just want to let people know that this picture that's on your shirt and on your sign
Look.
is the exact same picture that's on the wall of you in the American Legion in Walhalla.
And I don't know how I didn't put it up there.
I'm just to let people know.
That was my dad's World War II flight hat.
I'm
Now
just
you look
saying-
at that. You look
I'm
at that
just
picture.
saying
Look at my
that your
left
picture-
eyebrow. It looks like the Red Baron's eyebrow. How the hair's hanging out. Look at that. Look at that look.
I'm just saying
That dreamy look.
That's the greatest campaign sign I've ever seen.
Look at that. That's somebody that is ready to take names.
The first time I saw that picture, it was hanging on the wall in the Walhalla American Legion Post 124.
Now
right,
what does that guy say? That's me standing between them and you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for our first show back here in July. Coming up here in the next few weeks,
Are we
we've
gonna
got
go around the table?
No, we're not. We're going to
Can I
conclude the
say
show
one thing is real important.
quickly.
My friends at Dunkin' Donuts in Seneca, thank you. They make wonderful coffee and they make wonderful donuts. I'm saying hi to James and the manager from Walhalla. I'm sorry I forgot your name. Best service ever. Everybody goes to Dunkin' Donuts in Seneca. Thank you.
Where's my check for that? That's an advertisement.
Oh, I didn't realize. They were just my friends.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll tell you what, the Dunkin' Donuts might be good, but the El Agave next door, that's the most colorfulest place I've ever been in my life.
You can't say that, man.
They have got some color in there.
I know. In the restaurant itself, yeah. It's
Inside
nice.
is beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful.
All right, well, folks, next week, 7 o'clock, we're back here. Kathy will be joining us back, and otherwise, we hope that you have a good week for everybody that has
Shout
to go
out to
back
Tiger
work
Wash
Monday.
and Clemson.
And we will see everybody next Sunday right here on Let's Talk OconeeSC.com. Got to go, guys.
No, he's hanging up. Hang up. Don't let Randy.
In District 2 we trust, no other feels so right. Ruin will bring us justice with courage in the sight.